Hello, everybody. This is Amy from Ready Aim Succeed Coaching. I'm a personal transformation coach and astrology guide, and I help women to recover from trauma, normally caused from abusive relationships and toxic workplaces. Today, I want to share a video about understanding trauma so that people can understand how trauma happens in the body, what it actually is, and how to recover. Following this one, there'll be another one about how coaching can help you to uncover the root cause for trauma so that you can start to recover and heal from it. So, first of all, the trauma cycle. When trauma occurs, this is because there has been a traumatic situation, you've experienced something that has scared you, and your body has been tripped into this cycle. This cycle is the fight or flight cycle. But when trauma occurs and it is ongoing, unfortunately, the nervous system gets trapped in this fight or flight situation. So I'm just going to talk you through that and give you examples. So first of all, imagine if there's a trigger. Now, this is a one-off unexpected occasion where you're, for instance, at a zoo, and an easy way to explain this is you walk around the zoo and then you find a lion has escaped its cage. And obviously, in that situation, you're gonna get triggered. You're gonna go into the fight or flight response. Now, there are other responses, of course. The most well-known ones are fight or flight, but there's also freeze and fawn. So in this occasion, imagine you've been triggered, you've seen this lion, you're most likely going to want to escape. So you're likely to going to go for the flight mode. If you absolutely had no opportunity to escape, you're backed into a corner, you probably would try the fight mode. Then fawn mode would be pretending you were dead. Not sure you'd tend to use that as your first option in front of a lion, but people definitely do this in front of other animals. They pretend that they have fainted, for instance, and they stop moving. The animal thinks they're dead and just leaves them alone. And freeze, of course. So freeze response would be you do none of the above. You literally freeze, you go into panic, and you don't know what move to make. So on this occasion, imagine your body is kicked in and you've had that reaction. So your body is running through all these responses. But of course, it's not taking time to run through it. This is an immediate reaction that you have. It's immediate in terms of the emotions. So fear, nervous, anxiety. It's also immediate in terms of the behavior. It's going to trigger that behavior to happen. So the adrenaline is going to start rushing around your body. It's going to go travel to the limbs because it needs you to move. So when that adrenaline triggers your arms and legs, for instance, it means all the blood is going there. So your arms can fight and your legs can run. So this is why in traumatic situations, you can't always remember the situation later on. When you try to think back, you may feel the details are quite hazy and you feel that you've lost a bit of your memory. So you remember the lion appearing, but you don't really remember where you went or what happened next. That's because there's not as much of the blood in your brain. Your brain is simply set into protection mode. All it cares is about getting you out of that situation. It doesn't really care what else is happening around you. So you're less likely to remember the finer details. So the adrenaline's rushed to your legs and you've run away, for instance. Now, typically in these situations, once you have escaped the situation and you know you're safe again, whether that is the lion has been locked back up in its cage, or you're safe inside one of the zoo rooms, you're locked in, the lion can't get in, or even you're back at home, you are going to gradually start resetting the nervous system. So this is going to include your body, of course, is going to start calming down. The body can only calm down when it's in a place where it feels emotionally and psychologically secure. So when the trigger has left or you have left the situation, your body will be enabled to go into this calming reset. On the other hand, if you remain in the same situation, this is not going to happen. This is going to be delayed. So imagine you've got home, of course, you're calming down, your breathing is slowing down, your heart rate is slowing down. You're starting to feel calmer and more secure in yourself. And not very long after, no doubt, you will sit in your house, think, oh gosh, what a horrible thing to happen. No doubt you've got it all over Facebook telling your friends, but actually, you're okay. You're not necessarily traumatized by it in the sense of it's not going to necessarily live with you. You're highly unlikely to keep on seeing a lion every time you leave the house. So it might put you off going to a zoo or that same zoo, but it's not going to stop you from feeling safe in your own house or walking into town. You're not going to every time panic you're going to see a lion and experience that same situation. So in this case, your body, your brain, your mind, your nervous system is fully reset. You're able to carry on with your life and your day as you would normally. However, if we move on to the next cycle, so if you experience long-term or ongoing trauma, such as domestic abuse, this is where you're stuck in that cycle. So that fight or flight response is kicked in. Your body wants you to leave the situation or potentially fight. It wants you to do whatever it can to keep you safe. And that is what your brain is doing. It is constantly trying to protect you. So you're not able to go into the reset mode because unfortunately this cycle never ends. Whereas the lion was put away, it was kept safe, or you went home, you knew you were safe, that's when you could click into the reset mode. Now, instead, in this situation, that safety never comes. Unfortunately, if you're in an abusive relationship and that person lives with you, for instance, they can be with you 24/7. Even if you leave the house to go out alone, you may still be getting phone calls or texts asking where you are. You may go to work, you might be distracted at work for a while, you're happier at work, you're avoiding your phone calls, but on the other hand, once you get home, somebody's there waiting for you. Now, you may never know how they're going to react when you get home. So, again, that can keep you stuck in this cycle because you're worrying throughout the day, what are you going to go home to? Maybe on the drive or the walk home from work, you're worrying, are you going to arrive at a house where somebody might be really happy and pleased to see you? But on the other hand, do you know for definite? Or could they be annoyed? Could they be angry at you because you've been at work and they say, oh, I've been waiting for you to get home, or you ran late? And because you never know which to expect, you get stuck where you feel on eggshells. So this is where your body gets stuck in this constant nervous feeling. However, this can become your new normal. You don't actually recognize that you are stuck in this mode. You can get stuck in it for a period of time over this abusive relationship, that because it gets to the point that that's all you know, you wake up feeling this way, you go to sleep feeling this way. So in that case, because you never come out of this mode, it can become your new normal. You forget what it feels like to not constantly be on eggshells, and you cannot stop or break that cycle without leaving the situation or having the situation end. This is because you are in this ongoing situation of being triggered. You need to leave the situation for your body to start relaxing and realizing that threat has been removed. Now, in abusive situations, unless if you leave the situation or that person leaves, you can get rid of them and you know that you're safe in your home and they cannot get back in, it's still going to take you a period of time to settle. Depending on how long you've been with that person, it could have been days, months, years. That I would say the longer you've been in that situation, the longer it could take you to recover, because a couple of reasons. First of all, the length of time means your nervous system has been stuck in this cycle, and it may take longer to have almost convince your body, encourage your mind, and reset the nervous system to make it feel secure again. Also, after abusive situations, even when you leave that person, it doesn't mean the abuse stops immediately. That rarely happens. It usually continues in other forms. So you are still going to be stuck in this fight or flight mode. Now, it's not all doom and gloom even. Of course, you can leave the situation. You can get rid of them. You can end this. So if you are currently in this mode of you have left that situation, but you constantly feel like you're on eggshells, you may be worried about, I don't know how to move out of this. You may feel very low. You could be depressed, anxious. You might not go into town so often. You might not see your friends because you're worried about bumping into your ex. You just constantly have this underlying nervous energy going on where you constantly worry this what's going to happen next. You've been stuck in that cycle. And this cycle can come along with not just anxiety and depression, but also negative thoughts, you questioning yourself, self-doubt, a lack of confidence, negative thoughts even creeping in, making you feel guilty. All sorts can happen as trauma responses. Now, all of that you can recover from, you can definitely heal from. I have been in that situation, and now I would say, really am recovered and healed from trauma. All through work I have done by myself, and now I am at the point where I've opened a business. I support other women to recover from this situation, and I even go out and speak about it at events. That shows how far I've come and to have healed so much that I can talk about it without emotion as well. So, if you are in this situation, just moving on to the next page, I would always encourage you, as soon as you feel ready to get started on your recovery, the sooner the better. Don't put it off. There is not going to be a perfect day. If you constantly keep waiting, think, I'll wait for tomorrow, I'll wait till I feel this way, or I'll wait till that happens, you could be putting this off for life. And imagine the way you feel now. Just imagine your dream version of what you want to feel like. You may want to feel like you might think, where's the old me? I want to just feel the old me again. You might want to feel the old me, but you might want to feel even better and stronger and more confident. I know that can happen, but the sooner the better is going to get you started on that journey. So, to help you, if you want to scan the QR code, this is to help you choose the right coach for you. So this is talk you through if you do feel you need a trauma-informed coach as well. By trauma-informed, what I mean is that they've not just necessarily experienced trauma or have an understanding, they also know how to help you reset the nervous system. It is very important for your coach to be trauma-informed so that they can basically watch you, watch your behavior, hear the words you're saying, watch facial expressions, see how your energy changes, and recognize where there may be trauma responses happening. If a coach has not got this experience, they may try and push you to achieve goals far sooner. This can actually re-trigger you, so do be careful for that. If you're interested to talk to me further about this, book a free 30-minute clarity call. It doesn't mean you're committed to booking sessions afterwards. It just means you can discuss your needs and I can help you find the right coach for you. Of course, I'd love to work with you. I've been working with clients for the past couple of years to help them recover from trauma, and that has been caused through abusive situations, but also toxic workplaces. So, like I say, if you want to have a call, tell me where you're at, where you want to get to, and let's discuss how I could help you. Of course, my website is there with QR code, so you can always check out all the work I've done. And you can email or call or text me, that's fine. So I hope this helps you understand why you may be stuck in this cycle and how it happens. The next one is going to be about how coaching can help you because with trauma, there's always a root cause to it, and trauma isn't always created from just an abusive relationship. It could have been created back in childhood. So that's a really deep one where you've got to uncover that root cause, see why certain patterns have been created throughout your life because of it, and then how can you recover from that, but also how coaching can help. I hope this has been useful. Please do comment and follow. That would be amazing. The more people who see my work, then the more people I can help. Thank you all. See you next time.